Readers Entertainment Radio presents Booklights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Booklights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to August. To all those Leos out there, happy birthday. It's my birthday month, too. I'm so excited that you are tuning in today, and whether you're listening live or listening later, you're in for a treat, because today we're going to be chatting with historical author Mack Little. And she's got a couple of books out that I'm really interested in chatting about. So if you have not met her before or read her work, I will read her bio here so that you can get to know her. Mack Little grew up in the Deep South and has accumulated a vibrant experience, which she often emulates in her storytelling. Her studies in international politics and service in the Army have given her impressive perspectives to bring to her novels, new layers of intrigues and twists, which are all quite prevalent in her latest novel that we're going to chat about today, Daughter of Hades. You can learn more at her website, and I put a link to her website right there on the Blog Talk site, so you can click that link anytime to sign up for her newsletter and see what else she's up to and find out when that next book comes out. So, without any further delay, Mack, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you? We were having all kinds of technical difficulties beforehand, but I hope everything's working now. You hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you great.
Okay. So, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about Daughter of Hades?
Sure. Daughter of Hades is a historical romance at its core. It's historical fiction. I try to be authentic with the history used in this story. It's about an enslaved young woman named Denny who, along with her brother, escapes captivity in Barbados on a buccaneer ship called the Hades, where she meets and falls in love with a Chinese-born sailor. At the same time, two Huguenot French boys leave France, escaping religious persecution, and they end up in the Caribbean as indentured servants, and all these lives come together and form a swashbuckling pirate adventure.
I love that. I actually write an Immortal Pirate series, so I'm very heavily into pirates. What led you to write a pirate book?
Teenage fantasy, I guess. I was, I've always, when I was a teenager, I was like really into the historical romances, the bodice-ripping stories, and I kind of grew out of it, out of the genre, because my reading taste, I guess, developed, and then came along Outlander, where she mixed prosaic, a really beautiful narrative, and it's also historically correct, but had a passionate love story at the core. I was like, oh wow, this can be done. This is my kind of romance novel, for a mature reader, I guess. And so I just set out to write a book that I wanted to read with with more diversity, to show the diversity of the period and the area. A lot of people tend to leave that out. They tend to forget that this was a culturally rich area. I mean, there's so many cultures intersected in the Caribbean around this time.
Yeah, for sure. And that piracy, for the most part, was, one of the first democratic communities where everyone got a vote and everyone got an equal share of the spoils and all that kind of thing. So it was a unique for its time period. No monarchs, everybody got to vote for the captain, all that kind of stuff.
Right. And it was an answer to an unfair economic system. They were taxing, and the navigation acts prevented the English from, buying the goods they needed from other sources and taxing what they could get to high heavens. So the pirates offered them a way to get their necessities, the things they wanted, without having to pay an exorbitant tax on it.
Right. I have to ask, have you watched Black Sails yet?
Oh my God, I am obsessed with Black Sails.
Me too.
I am upset, and my love for that television show is, it kind of guided my hand when I was writing Daughter of Hades, because I love the grittiness of it. I love how bawdy it was, but it had, really serious themes going on, in the storyline, and I was like, oh yeah, and and this is it also reacquainted me with the Maroons and how they played such a large part in the politics and in the past, and I wanted to explore that. So Daughter of Hades centers around a community of Maroons in Jamaica. However, the time period that I set them in this is in the 17th century, so it's a little bit prior to the British invasion of Jamaica. So the Maroon communities wouldn't have been that large in my time period, but there were some people there that really didn't become that much larger until the British invaded Jamaica, and the Spanish released all the enslaved persons to the hills to cripple the British economically. I'm sorry.
Wow,
I'm going too long.
No, I find it fascinating because I'm really, like I say, I'm very interested in pirates, and for everyone out there who loves Black Sails, here's another book for you to grab, Daughter of Hades.
Yeah. My God,
is this going to be?
When it went off the air, I wanted more of that story. So this.
Right.
I might say more than Outlander, Black Sails was my impetus for writing this book, because I wanted to continue that story. Yeah.
I love that. Is it going to be a series, or is it just a standalone?
It's a series. A novella is coming out in the spring of next year, where one of the characters really captured my imagination, so I just went ahead and wrote a story surrounding him, and that's going to be out in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah. So his name is Badu. I kind of loosely based his character on a couple of historical figures. One is Black Caesar. He was a black pirate on Blackbeard's ship, and Busa, who led a revolution in Barbados. And my character's name is Badu, and in the novella we look at his life in pre-colonial Africa and as he attempts to escape the island of Barbados. So, yeah.
Exciting. Well, I wanted to ask you, too, that you have another book out that's more urban fantasy and magical, and now you have historical. So do you see parallels between the two, or do you want to keep writing in both genres, or what's your plan?
Actually, we have to put our books in the category for, Amazon and the book sellers. But really my urban fantasy is what, kind of led me to my historical fiction. My urban fantasy deals with vampires and the source of the main character's powers, which is ancient Yemen and Ethiopia and Jerusalem. And I wrote a whole narrative, looking at the politics and the history and the folklore, that section. And so since since Progeny was set in the present as well as the past, I kind of want to write a novel that was completely submerged in the past. So that's what led me to write Daughter of Hades, because I got off on the research and the history and all the things that we missed. And also in the vampire novel, there is a romance at the core, just like any other thing. And I mean, they're very similar. It's just I have vampires in one, and in Daughter of Hades, I have a witch.
Oh, nice. And will there be more of its Progeny? Right, is the first book of the urban fantasy?
Yeah. Right now, I'm moving my collection over to a new publisher, so it's going to be out of print for a while until we can get her up on the new publishing site. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I plan. The series is pretty much written. It's just going through a little transition right now.
Wow. So will there be more of the urban fantasy then? You've already written them?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes. Exciting. So I was poking around on your website, and I saw for your day job you travel a lot over to Europe, and you have lots of things about France. And do you have any other historical time periods that you're dreaming about writing about?
I'm very interested in Asia, ancient China, and India. Sometimes I wonder if I'm equipped to write that history, since it's not a part of mine. I'm wondering if I'll be able to capture the sensibilities of it. But that's something I want to write about. I'm now considering writing. I think my way in will be looking at the Asian presence in Mexico around the 1500s and beyond, and write about it from that angle, I suppose.
So
yeah,
is that what you're working on next? Is that going to be your next historical novel, or is there what's next for you?
Yeah. Well, it's just a seed right now. I don't, but I'm definitely, I'm pretty sure I'm going to pursue it. But right now I'm finishing up book 2 for Daughter of Hades, and hopefully that will be out in the next couple of years. But yeah, I'm finishing that one up and getting ready to hand it off to the publisher. So we're going to continue. Yeah, we're going to continue Daughter of Hades. There's so many ways we can go with that story.
Oh, that's exciting. And our listeners are always really interested in what your journey looked like for you. You've been all over the world, it sounds like, with the military, and you work with a medical background. So when did you decide, I want to write novels, and how did you go about getting them published? What was your journey like?
Okay, so I've wanted to be a writer since I was 12 years old, and that was my whole impetus for going to college. I majored in English, and there was nothing else I wanted to be, but then life got in the way. I graduated college, and there was nothing you can do with an English degree but teach, right? So I I couldn't afford to go back to graduate school, so I joined the Army so I could get a scholarship for graduate school. And then I got my degree in library science. I got married, had a baby. All this time I wasn't writing, but I wanted to. I had a kernel of a story, but, I just couldn't finish it. And so finally I found the writing community in Houston, the Houston Writers Guild, and that's what got me on the track to becoming a serious writer. I joined a critique group, and they forced me to have accountability. I had to have 10 pages every week. And
what?
Yeah. And, and they let me know what was, trite and, and all the pitfalls of, of storytelling, and helped me to avoid them. And, 10 pages by 10 pages, I had my book finished. And after that, I just sent out my manuscript to agents, and there were some small press that were, accepting manuscripts, and I got lucky with a small press, Elysian Press, and they took a chance on me, and I got my first book published. And
congratulations!
Yeah. So that's basically, how I got Daughter of Hades. I found a small press that wanted to take a chance on Daughter of Hades, and there it is. I still don't have an agent. So
yeah, but publishing has changed so much. You don't really have to have one anymore. I used to have one, and now I don't, because I publish so much indie. I still have a publisher, but I publish so much indie that I don't have an agent anymore. So I went the opposite way.
Right. Yeah, at this point, I don't know what they're for. Except for I would love to. I think I might want an agent if I went to get a movie option. I think agents are still necessary for that. So
right. Yeah, that would be a great problem to have, right?
Yeah, right.
So 12-year-old you must be having a big party right now. You did it.
12-year-old me is still marveling that I've actually created something and and was able to send it out into the world. For so long I was writing stories and I could never get to the end of them, and I'm just really happy every time I can get to the end, when I can tie the end of the story up with a bow, and it's very satisfying.
Right, yes. No one tells you before you actually write books about the unglamorous part of the middle, because you always get to the middle of the book and then every other idea sounds so much better. But if you never finish, none of them get done. So kudos to you.
Right.
So I wanted to ask, who inspires you? Like when you read their books, you go, oh my gosh, I need to get to the computer. We're always looking to add to our to-be-read list.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, Cormac McCarthy, his writing is so amazing. Even I read him just to help me with my style. I love his powers of description. I like the starkness. He can make death and all the horrors of life beautiful. It's just beautiful under his hand. John Irving is great with character. My favorite book of his is Son of the Circus. He does an amazing job of weaving the stories of each of his characters and making this wonderful, entertaining tapestry of a novel. I love John Irving. And I love Maya Angelou because of her poetry when she's writing her memoirs. I love the poetry of her writing, and that inspires me. I love James A. Corey. He writes the Expanse series. I just like his storytelling. His stories are riveting, and I've read the whole Expanse series, and I'm heartbroken there are no more. So I guess so that's my short list. I'll stop it there.
Yeah, that's a good list. So I don't know if you are a plotter or a pantser, but do you usually know what your books are going to be before you start writing, or do they reveal themselves to you as you write?
Well, I guess it's a little bit of both. I know when I was writing Daughter of Hades, I wanted to write about the British invasion of Jamaica, and so I set up my story around that event, but I don't use a plot, and because I don't use a plot, my story goes in a completely different direction. So the main characters I started off with ended up being completely different people. I ended up just, I first wanted, I have in my head this love affair between Ami and Pat, the French, Ami the Maroon, and Pat, the French Huguenot who comes to the Caribbean. But the story was running so long, I said, okay, well, I have really great characters in Lee and Denny, and they're interesting because Lee is Chinese-born, and a lot of people don't know about the Asian presence in the Caribbean. And Denny, her parentage is a black enslaved man and Irish indentured woman. Like, that's interesting. You don't really hear about those kind of relationships back there. So my focus shifted to Denny and Lee. And so, that's 5 years prior to the invasion, telling their story. And I'm still, working my way up to the invasion and focusing on Patson and me. So I guess that's what happens when you pants. Your story changes, your focus changes, but so that's why I'm so happy I have a publisher and an editor that keeps me in check and helps me focus.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a pantser, and I had one book that I kept trying to kill this woman, and she kept living, and then I realized, wait, she's the heroine. What? Yeah, people say, oh, these twists, and I think no one was more surprised than me.
I know, the characters tell you who they are, and, and it's so amazing to me. It's I don't know. It's like magic. It's like they're telling you who they are, what they're gonna do, and So and it's so amazing to me. I just sit back and let them show me, and I just write what they show me.
I love that. Ray Bradbury used to say that you put the character on the page and you just follow them. And I always hold that close in my heart because I feel like that is the most fun part of writing.
That makes so much sense to me. So as a writer, I'm always entertained while I'm writing because, I got these people acting out this story in my head.
Right. And sometimes they do things and you think, what? What are you doing? But it's almost always better than what I thought was going to happen. So I've learned to trust it.
Yes, you are my writing soul sister.
Right, yes, both writing pirates, but my pirates are immortal, so they happen in today's time. But we have lots of flashbacks.
That sounds so fascinating. I'm gonna have to read that.
Yeah, pick them up. The Sentinels of Savannah. They still live in Savannah since the 1700s. So.
Oh, Savannah, Georgia, huh?
Yes. It was a big
Are you
pirate
from Georgia?
port. My grandmother was from Georgia, born and raised. She was from Darien. She was born in Darien, Georgia. So Savannah was the big town.
Ah, very cool.
But yeah, it's a great, very haunted city. I love it very much.
Yeah, Savannah's fascinating. I've always wanted to visit there. I'm from Georgia, and I'm from Conyers, Georgia, but I've never been to Savannah, not yet.
Oh, you have to go. Yes, for sure. You're writing pirates. You have to go. You can still see the pirate tunnels and things in Savannah. It's really cool. Yeah, you definitely have to go.
Right. All right. You convinced me.
There we go. You'll love it. You'll have to let me know.
I will.
So one last thing before we run out of time is I already asked you who inspires you writing-wise, and we already talked about Black Sails, but what else should be on our watch list? What are you watching that you love right now?
What am I? I've just finished Atlanta. That show is amazing. It blows me away. It's so clever and insightful. And the episodes are only like 30 minutes long. So right now I'm rewatching Black Sails at the moment. I'm rewatching that.
I watch it for inspiration too.
Yeah. And let's see, something new that I've watched that really was exciting. Better Call Saul was the last thing I watched before all those. So I'm watching the series finale for Better Call Saul, and I think that story, the whole storytelling of Saul Goodman and Breaking Bad is amazing. I love the storytelling abilities of those guys. Some people might beg to differ, but I really like American Gods, the adaptation of American Gods.
Yes.
And my dream, my fantasy is to have Brian Fuller option my series and do something with it and make it some kind of psychedelic, funky, storytelling.
Yeah. I'm putting it out there for you because I think that would be great. I haven't finished watching all of American Gods, but I think it captures Neil Gaiman's dreaminess very well.
Yes. Yeah, it's so entrancing is the word. I love the show. And I rewatch it periodically, but I do have to have a lot of downtime between rewatching because it's just such a feast for the senses.
Yes, and we have to sit down and chain ourselves to the keyboard or words don't happen.
You know what? I sit on the patio. Most writers would say no, but I sit on the patio. I have to have a cigar while I'm writing. I write longhand, and I have I have the television going in I have the television going on in the back. It's kind of my white noise. It's kind of like it kind of gets me into the mood because I usually watch something that's in the vein of what I'm writing, so it gets me in the mood of it. And when I'm stuck writing, instead of surfing the internet, I just, look at the television for a couple of minutes until I get my thoughts together and write them down. But, yeah, it really frees me up. If I sat down at a blank computer screen to write something, I would never be able to. I would just freeze up and not be able to write anything. I need material. I have to write. I need material to work from.
Yeah, well, honor your process. That's always rule number one.
Yeah.
So before we run out of time, how can people get in touch with you after they read the book? Are you on Facebook, Twitter? How can they find you?
Oh, my God. I am on Twitter, my handle is @ZenBaby, and that's ZenBabie. And it's the same thing on Instagram, @ZenBaby, ZenBabib, and author Mack Little on Facebook.
Okay, so everyone get in touch and run out.
You.
Definitely, and run out and get Daughter of Hades, and everyone go watch Black Sails. Just saying.
Yes.
Thanks so much for being here, Mack. It was great chatting with you.
You too. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.